Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about yet another quirky thing going on with Fallout 76, and it's not about the payment model, believe me, I'm just as surprised as you are. But instead, it has to do with the wonderful people over at the Fallout and Fallout 76 subreddit, and in particular, a user by the name of TheFatRat discovering some pretty interesting things about Fallout 76, and what they discovered is that Fallout 76 is almost as easy, if not just as easy to mod than Fallout 4, and the reason being is because apparently the Fallout 76 servers do not actually check to verify if client-side files have been modified, and that means modders could either convert existing Fallout 4 mods to work with Fallout 76, or you could just make entirely new Fallout 76 mods like we've seen already being done, and we're just in the beta, the game has not even launched before. And apparently the reason also this is happening is because overall the Fallout games, the game engine they run on is pretty open, and they're kind of known for being very easy to mod. But you would think if they were making a multiplayer version of Fallout, which they are, they would have a little bit more security and things to make sure it wasn't just being abused and people are modding it like they would mod a single player game. And Bethesda did reply and comment on all of this controversy going on, but before I go into that, I wanted to read the original post from the user TheFatRat in which he states some of the things that can be done with this modding privilege and knowledge. And the first thing he says is that there are no server checks to verify models or file integrity. Want to make trees smaller or player models bright colors to see them easier? Go right ahead. Here are the tools to do it. He also says, terrain and invisible walls and collision are client side. Want to walk through walls? Open up that beautiful .esm file and edit it. The server doesn't care or even check. Next thing they said was, want to save money on server hardware and make ping a little more manageable? Go ahead and open up client-to-client communication, but don't encrypt it or obfuscate it in any way. Open up Wireshark while playing and nab anyone's IP you want. Send packets to the server to auto-use consumables, all very nicely and in plain text. Even get health info and player location. Why waste time injecting the executable and getting nabbed by anti-cheat when you can get all that info from the network? Next thing was, want to grief people and be a god? Go ahead and keep looping the packet captured in Wireshark reporting you gave full HP. Why would the server care about something as little and not the game breaking like this? It's a great idea to let the client tell the server its state and the server not check anything it's being told. The possibilities with this are endless and probably able to just give yourself items by telling the server you picked it up. And then the last thing is someone in your game being mean, again have Wireshark? Well, let's just forge a packet with the disconnect command in it and knock them offline. And I think the biggest thing here that was hilarious to me was the fourth point saying that you could just make yourself a god by taking the server information that you had full HP at some point in the game and just keep looping it to the game, and it just constantly thinks you're at full HP and you can't die. Because if you think about it, there's so many things you could do like that. I mean, you could take something where it does damage to people and you could just keep looping that. Obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems pretty hilarious and funny to think about. And we did get a response from Bethesda at some point. They responded to an article that IGN wrote about this, and I'm just going to read the quote before I say anything. And they said, many of the claims in the thread are either inaccurate or based on incorrect assumptions. The community has, however, called to attention several issues that our teams are already actively tracking and planning to roll out fixes for. Our goal is always to deliver a great experience for all our players. Cheating or hacking will not be tolerated. We know our fan base is passionate about modding and customizing their experience in our worlds, and it's something we intend to support down the road. And it says the statement does not say specifically which claims are false, but Bethesda is clearly aware of whatever legitimate issues have been raised and plans to correct them. Now, the problem with this is they're just saying, oh no, all that stuff in there, it was incorrect, but you did raise some things that we are working on, but they're not stating which things are incorrect or which things aren't. And I know when it comes to things like this, you don't really want to bring attention to stuff that could easily get people cheating or stuff like that. But if you're just going to go ahead and say, well, a lot of the things you said were just flat out false, it's kind of hard when there's evidence of some of the things in the article or the Reddit thread being true. I mean, we have mods already that work and have been proven to work. If you go, you can find a mod that's specifically made for Fallout 76 that makes lockpicking easier. All it does is it finds the sweet spot where the lockpick would actually want to go. It shows it to you so you don't break your lock, and there you go. And I mean, obviously that's not something like aimbot or wall hacks or something like that, but it is an example of what was being said in the Reddit thread is actually valid. And they even did say in the response that some of the things were valid, but they're kind of trying to make it like, oh, no, it's not as bad as that, but you know, there are some issues, we're fixing them, but everything they said, whatever, which is obviously a little fake, especially when we have evidence of stuff like this happening. But either way, it's quite hilarious. There's not much more to talk about. I mean, overall, it's in beta right now, and as long as this stuff gets fixed, which hopefully it will be by launch, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. That is kind of what betas are for. I know it was a little bit kind of for publicity and for money because you got the beta a week earlier, whatever, if you pre-ordered the game, so there was stuff like that. But I mean, it is in beta. It's not like the game launched with stuff like this happening. Now, if it proceeds to not get fixed and you can still do all this stuff in the full launch, that's when I think a lot of the anger is going to be warranted. Overall, I don't think anyone's really angry about this. I find it hilarious and honestly a little bit sad because you would think a company like Bethesda would know better, but either way, that's all there really is to the story. I just thought it was hilarious and wanted to share it to you guys. But if you guys have any opinions on stuff like this, or you've seen more information about it or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them all. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday and Sunday. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.